What if I told you that there's a way to develop unshakable wisdom, sharpen your thinking, and stay ahead of 99% of people without stress or distractions? For centuries, the Stoics mastered the art of thinking clearly, making strategic decisions, and staying mentally strong in any situation. While most people are ruled by their emotions, trapped in distractions, and reactive to the world around them, Stoic thinkers play a different game. They see what others don't. They think with precision. They stay calm under pressure while the rest of the world panics. And today we're uncovering 9 Stoic principles that can literally rewire your brain for higher intelligence, clarity, and resilience. But here's the key. Most people never learn these secrets. That's why they struggle. That's why they get overwhelmed by emotions, make impulsive decisions, and fall into the same mental traps over and over again. So if you want to train your mind like a Stoic philosopher, outsmart 99% of people, and develop a level of mental clarity that few ever achieve, then stay with me until the end, because each principle we'll cover is a crucial key to unlocking your full intellectual potential. And hey, if you find value in this, subscribe to the channel and comment Stoic Mind below to let me know you're serious about leveling up. Now, let's dive into the first principle. Have you ever made a decision you regretted because you acted on impulse? Maybe you said something in anger, bought something you didn't need, or reacted emotionally instead of thinking logically. Now, imagine having full control over your emotions, never letting anger, fear, or anxiety cloud your judgment. That's exactly what the Stoics mastered. One of the biggest mental advantages you can have over others is the ability to stay calm, rational, and composed no matter what happens. While most people react emotionally, a Stoic thinker pauses, observes, and chooses the smartest response. The Stoics believed that emotions are not the problem. The way we react to them is. They didn't try to suppress feelings, but instead, they trained themselves to observe emotions without letting them take control. As Seneca, the great Stoic philosopher, once said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." Think about that. Most of our suffering isn't caused by real events, but by how we emotionally react to them. A person cuts you off in traffic. You get angry and let it ruin your day. Someone criticizes you. You dwell on it for hours, overanalyzing every word. You face a setback. You panic instead of looking for solutions. But here's what Stoics did differently. Instead of letting emotions dictate their actions, they trained their minds to stay in control. Look at the world's most successful leaders, CEOs, and military strategists. They don't panic under pressure. They don't react emotionally. Instead, they think with logic, precision, and control. Take Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and one of the greatest Stoic philosophers. He faced constant wars, betrayals, and crises, yet he never let emotions dictate his leadership. His journal, Meditations, was his way of training himself daily to stay calm, clear-minded, and rational. Now compare that to most people today, emotionally reactive, easily distracted, and stressed out by small inconveniences. This is where you can have a massive advantage. So how do you develop emotional mastery like a Stoic? Step 1. The pause rule. Whenever you feel an intense emotion, anger, frustration, anxiety, pause for 5 seconds before reacting. This small habit forces your brain to switch from emotional reaction to logical thinking. Step 2. Label your emotion. Instead of saying, "I'm angry," say, "I'm experiencing anger." This distances you from the emotion and makes it easier to control. Step 3. Ask the Stoic question. Will this matter in a week, in a month, in a year? This immediately shifts your focus from impulse to long-term perspective. By practicing these steps, you train your mind to process emotions rationally instead of letting them hijack your decisions. Here's your challenge. For the next 24 hours, anytime you feel a strong emotion, pause for 5 seconds before reacting. Then ask yourself, what would a wise philosopher do? By mastering this one skill, you'll instantly gain a mental advantage over 99% of people. Because while most people are controlled by their emotions, you'll be thinking with clarity, strategy, and intelligence. Now let's move to principle number 2, where we uncover how Stoics stayed laser-focused on what truly matters, while most people waste energy worrying about things they can't control. Have you ever felt overwhelmed by things completely outside your control? Maybe it's the economy, other people's opinions, or unexpected setbacks. Here's the truth. Most people waste enormous amounts of mental energy worrying about things they can't change. But the Stoics had a simple rule that made them mentally stronger than 99% of people. If you can't control it, don't waste energy on it. Instead, they focused only on what was within their power, their thoughts, actions, and responses. This gave them an unshakable mental advantage over those who constantly worried about the uncontrollable. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus explained this with brutal clarity. Some things are up to us and some are not. That's it. Most of life's frustration comes from forgetting this simple truth. Think about it. You can't control the economy, but you can control your financial decisions. You can't control what people think of you, but you can control how you carry yourself. You can't control random setbacks, but you can control your response to them. This is why Stoics were unshakable. They never wasted time complaining, blaming, or panicking over things beyond their influence. Instead, they channeled all their energy into what they could actually change. Look at Warren Buffett, one of the world's greatest investors. Does he panic every time the stock market crashes? No, because he knows he can't control the market, but he can control his investment strategy and decisions. This mindset is why he remains calm while others make emotional, impulsive moves. Now, compare that to the average person who gets consumed by negativity, obsessing over things they can't change, blaming circumstances, and feeling powerless. This is where you can think like a Stoic and gain an unfair advantage. So, how do you develop unshakable focus on what matters? Step 1. The control filter. Whenever you feel anxious or frustrated, ask yourself one simple question. Do I have direct control over this? If yes, take action. If no, let it go. Don't waste your energy. Step 2. The mental redirect. Anytime you catch yourself worrying about something uncontrollable, redirect your thoughts to what you can do. Step 3. The daily Stoic reflection. At the end of each day, write down one thing you controlled well today, one thing you wasted energy on that you couldn't control, how you'll shift your focus tomorrow. By doing this, you'll train your brain to focus only on what matters, while others drown in distractions. For the next 24 hours, every time you feel frustrated, pause and ask yourself, do I control this? If the answer is no, let it go immediately. If the answer is yes, take strategic action. This one habit alone will give you a mental advantage over 99% of people. Because while they waste energy on things beyond their control, you'll be laser focused on what actually moves your life forward. Now let's move to principle number 3, where we uncover why the Stoics treated their minds like a muscle, and how training your brain daily can make you exponentially smarter. Imagine two people. One trains their body daily, building strength, endurance, and discipline. The other neglects physical exercise, becoming weak and sluggish over time. Now here's the secret. Your mind works the same way. Most people never train their minds. They consume random information, let distractions take over, and react impulsively. But the Stoics treated mental training like a daily workout, constantly sharpening their thinking, expanding their knowledge, and developing resilience. This is why they outperformed, outlasted, and outthought everyone around them. The great Stoic philosopher Seneca put it best. We should every night call ourselves to account. What infirmity have I mastered today? What passions opposed? What temptation resisted? What virtue acquired? In other words, a strong mind is built through daily discipline, not by chance. Think about it. Every day your mind is either getting sharper or weaker. If you feed it knowledge, challenges, and self-reflection, it grows stronger. If you let it run on autopilot, it gets slower, less disciplined, and reactive. This is why the Stoics practiced daily mental exercises to train their thinking, emotional control, and problem-solving skills. Take Elon Musk, for example. He didn't become one of the smartest thinkers in the world by accident. He trained his brain relentlessly, reading, learning, and challenging his own thinking every day. Musk's rule: he treats knowledge like a tree. Instead of memorizing random facts, he focuses on understanding fundamental principles first, then builds on them, just like a Stoic philosopher would. Compare that to most people today, consuming endless social media, reacting emotionally, and never challenging their own thinking. That's the difference between a trained mind and an untrained one. So, how do you train your mind daily like a Stoic? Step 1. Read and reflect daily. Stoics believed in learning something valuable every day. Read philosophy, psychology, or any subject that sharpens your thinking. Ask yourself, how can I apply this to my life? Step 2. Write and question your thoughts. Keep a Stoic journal, just like Marcus Aurelius did. Every night, write down one lesson you learned and one mistake to improve. This forces your brain to analyze, refine, and grow. Step 3. Embrace challenges as mental workouts. Instead of avoiding difficulties, see them as brain training. Next time you face a setback, treat it as an exercise in resilience. Instead of complaining, ask, what is this teaching me? By making these daily habits, you'll build a sharper, stronger mind, one that sees opportunities where others see problems. For the next 7 days, commit to training your mind like an athlete. 1. Spend at least 10 minutes daily reading something challenging. 2. Write one insight in a journal before bed. 3. Whenever something frustrates you, ask, how can I grow from this? By the end of the week, you'll already feel a shift in how you think, react, and process challenges. And while most people drift through life without ever sharpening their minds, you'll be building a level of intelligence and mental clarity that sets you apart from 99% of people. Now let's move to principle number 4, where we uncover how the Stoics turned every obstacle into an opportunity and how you can do the same. Have you ever faced a setback that made you feel stuck? Maybe it was a failed project, a rejection, or an unexpected challenge. Most people see obstacles as roadblocks, things that stop them from moving forward. But the Stoics saw something different. To them, every challenge was an opportunity. Every problem was a chance to grow. Their mindset? What stands in the way becomes the way. In other words, your obstacles aren't stopping you, they're guiding you. Marcus Aurelius, the great Stoic emperor, wrote something powerful in his journal. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. What does this mean? It means that every difficulty carries the seed of an advantage if you know how to use it. Think about it. Did you fail at something? Now you have experience and wisdom. Did someone reject you? Now you're free to pursue a better path. Did you face resistance? That means you're pushing beyond your comfort zone. To the Stoics, problems weren't problems. They were the raw material for growth, wisdom, and strength. In 1985, Steve Jobs was fired from Apple, the company he built. Most people would have seen this as a devastating loss, but Jobs used it as an opportunity. He took what he learned, founded Next and Pixar, and developed the skills that later helped him revolutionize Apple when he returned. His firing wasn't an end, it was the beginning of something greater. Now compare that to most people, who see failure as a reason to quit instead of an opportunity to evolve. This is the power of thinking like a Stoic. So how do you turn obstacles into opportunities in real life? Step 1. Change your perspective. The moment something goes wrong, ask yourself, how can this situation make me stronger or smarter? This shifts your mindset from victim to strategist. Step 2. Look for the hidden advantage. There is always something you can gain from adversity. Maybe you learn a new skill. Maybe you build resilience. Maybe you discover a better path. Step 3. Take action based on the new opportunity. Instead of complaining, use the challenge to move forward. Lost a job? Build new skills or start your own business? Relationship ended? Focus on self-improvement and growth. Faced a failure? Analyze what went wrong and adapt. By training your mind to see problems as opportunities, you become unstoppable. For the next 7 days, every time something doesn't go as planned, pause and ask yourself, how can I turn this into an opportunity? Write down your answer, find the advantage, take action. Because while most people get stuck in frustration, you'll be turning setbacks into stepping stones, just like a true Stoic. Now let's move to principle number 5, where we uncover why the Stoics believed silence is a superpower and how mastering it can give you a mental edge over everyone else. Have you ever noticed that the smartest and most powerful people in the room are usually the quietest? While most people feel the need to talk, explain, and prove themselves, the Stoics knew the power of silence. Why? Because when you talk too much, you reveal too much about your plans. You weaken your position in negotiations. You miss opportunities to observe and learn. But when you master silence, you gain an edge over everyone else. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus said it perfectly. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. This means that true intelligence comes from listening, observing, and thinking before speaking. Most people do the opposite. They speak before they think. They reveal too much. They waste energy trying to impress others. But the Stoics knew that silence is a weapon. It allows you to gather information, control your emotions, and move strategically. Warren Buffett, one of the most successful investors in history, is known for being extremely careful with his words. In business meetings, he listens more than he talks, letting others reveal their strategies first. This allows him to make smarter decisions, avoid impulsive mistakes, and stay ahead of competitors. Now compare that to the average person, who talks too much, overshares, and weakens their position without even realizing it. So, how do you develop the power of silence like a Stoic? Step 1. Talk less, observe more. In your next conversation, resist the urge to fill every silence with words. Let others speak first. Observe their body language. Notice what's not being said. Step 2. Use silence as a negotiation tool. In any negotiation, pause before responding. People fear silence and will often reveal more than they should. This gives you an advantage without saying a word. Step 3. Keep your plans private. The Stoics believed in moving in silence. Don't announce your goals before you've achieved them. Work quietly. Let your results speak for themselves. By mastering these habits, you'll develop a mental advantage. Where others talk impulsively, you'll move strategically. For the next 48 hours, practice intentional silence. 1. In conversations, listen more than you speak. 2. In negotiations, pause before responding. 3. Keep your plans and ambitions to yourself. You'll quickly notice how much more you learn, how much power you gain, and how much smarter you appear to others. Because while most people waste their words, you'll be using silence as your greatest weapon. Now let's move to principle number 6, where we uncover why Stoics never wasted time on useless arguments and how you can stay focused on what truly matters. Have you ever seen someone waste hours arguing over something meaningless? Maybe they're trying to prove they're right. Maybe they're getting triggered by opinions that don't matter. Maybe they just can't walk away from an argument. But here's what the Stoics understood. Most arguments are distractions. They drain your energy, waste your time, and rarely change anyone's mind. A truly intelligent person knows when to engage and when to walk away. Marcus Aurelius, the great Stoic emperor, put it simply, you always have the option of having no opinion. Think about that. You don't have to engage in every debate. You don't have to prove yourself. You don't have to get emotionally caught up in things that don't serve you. This is why the smartest people don't argue over nonsense. They don't waste time debating things that don't impact their lives. They don't get emotionally triggered by people who just want attention. They don't engage in pointless online discussions that lead nowhere. Instead, they stay focused on what actually matters, their growth, their success, their goals. Jeff Bezos, founder of Amazon, follows a simple rule when dealing with arguments. Are we arguing about a reversible or irreversible decision? If the decision is reversible, it's not worth wasting time debating. Just make a move and adjust later. If the decision is irreversible, then it's worth discussing, but with logic, not emotions. This is why Bezos built Amazon into a trillion-dollar company. He focuses on action, not endless debate. Now, compare that to the average person, who spends hours arguing over things that don't impact their future. That's the difference between being reactive and being strategic. So, how do you avoid pointless arguments like a Stoic? Step 1. Ask yourself, is this worth my energy? Before engaging in any debate, pause and ask, will this matter in 5 years? If no, walk away. If yes, engage, but with logic, not emotion. Step 2. Use the silent win strategy. Most arguments come from ego, not truth. Instead of trying to prove you're right, let your results do the talking. Success is the ultimate response. Step 3. Focus on growth, not approval. The Stoics believed in self-improvement over social validation. You don't need to win every debate. You don't need everyone to agree with you. You just need to keep improving yourself. By practicing this, you'll develop a clear mind, avoid distractions, and stay ahead of those who waste time arguing. For the next 7 days, every time you feel tempted to argue, pause and ask, is this worth my time and energy? If not, let it go and move forward. If yes, respond with calm logic, not emotion. Because while most people get trapped in useless arguments, you'll be focused on what actually moves your life forward. Now let's move to principle number 7, where we uncover why Stoics never depended on praise or criticism, and how this mindset will make you mentally unshakable. How often do you let other people's opinions affect your mood, your decisions, or even your confidence? Someone praises you, you feel great. Someone criticizes you, you feel terrible. You keep wondering what people think of you. But here's what the Stoics mastered. They never let praise inflate their ego, and they never let criticism shake their confidence. Marcus Aurelius, one of the greatest Stoic philosophers, had a simple mindset. Choose not to be harmed, and you won't feel harmed. Don't feel harmed, and you haven't been. In other words, you decide whether people's words affect you or not. The average person is controlled by external validation. They chase approval and avoid criticism. But the Stoic person is self-driven. They don't let compliments or insults define them. Why? Because they focus on one thing only: doing what is right no matter what people say. Kobe Bryant, one of the greatest basketball players of all time, had an unshakable mindset. When reporters asked him if he felt pressure from critics, his answer was simple. I don't get too high with praise and I don't get too low with criticism. I just stay locked in on my work. That's Stoic thinking in action. He didn't need praise to stay motivated. He didn't let criticism shake his confidence. He focused only on improvement. Compare that to the average person, who lets compliments boost their ego and criticism destroy their self-esteem. That's the difference between emotional weakness and true strength. So how do you stop letting praise and criticism control you? Step 1. Focus on your own standards. Ask yourself, am I doing what I believe is right? If yes, keep going, no matter what people say. If no, adjust based on your own values, not external opinions. Step 2. Treat praise and criticism the same. When someone compliments you, don't let it inflate your ego. When someone criticizes you, don't let it break you. See both as neutral feedback, nothing more. Learn from useful criticism, ignore the rest. Step 3. Build confidence through action, not approval. The Stoics believed that real confidence comes from self-mastery, not external validation. Work on your skills. Improve daily. Let your actions speak louder than opinions. By mastering this mindset, you'll become mentally unshakable, while most people are trapped in the highs and lows of public opinion. For the next 7 days, every time someone praises or criticizes you, pause and remind yourself, this doesn't define me, my actions do. If it's praise, don't get carried away, just keep improving. If it's criticism, don't take it personally, just take what's useful and move on. Because while most people are controlled by external opinions, you'll be focused on what truly matters: your growth, your purpose, and your mindset. Now let's move to principle number 8, where we uncover why the Stoics prepared for the worst, yet always expected the best. What if you could face any challenge, any setback, any unexpected crisis without fear, panic, or stress? Most people hope for the best and assume everything will go smoothly. But the Stoics took a different approach. They prepared for the worst, while still expecting the best. This mindset made them calm, confident, and unshakable, while everyone else was caught off guard by life's uncertainties. The Stoic philosopher Seneca had a powerful practice called premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. It meant mentally preparing for things to go wrong so that when they did, you wouldn't be surprised or shaken. Think about it. If you expect everything to be easy, every setback feels like a disaster. But if you prepare for difficulties, nothing can truly catch you off guard. The Stoics believed that anticipating challenges doesn't make you negative, it makes you strong. The U.S. Navy SEALs, one of the most elite forces in the world, have a mindset that aligns perfectly with Stoic thinking. Plan for the worst, execute for the best. They don't just hope missions will go well, they train for every possible failure. If the weather turns bad, they're prepared. If the enemy responds differently than expected, they adapt. If a piece of equipment fails, they have a backup plan. Because they've already prepared for worst-case scenarios, they remain calm and strategic under pressure. Compare that to the average person who panics at the first sign of trouble because they never mentally prepared for it. So how do you develop this Stoic mindset of preparedness? Step 1. Mentally rehearse worst-case scenarios. Once a week, ask yourself, what's the worst that could realistically happen? Imagine how you'd handle a setback. Think through solutions in advance. This removes fear and builds resilience. Step 2. Train yourself for discomfort. The Stoics practiced voluntary hardship to make themselves mentally tougher. Take cold showers. Go a day without luxury items. Push yourself physically and mentally. Step 3. Always have a plan B. The smartest people never assume plan A will work perfectly. Have a backup strategy for important areas of life. This way, you're always ready for challenges. By following these steps, you'll become resilient, adaptable, and always prepared for life's surprises. For the next 7 days, practice premeditatio malorum. 1. Each morning, visualize one thing that could go wrong. 2. Mentally prepare your response. Stay calm when challenges arise, because you were ready. Because while most people panic when life gets hard, you'll be calm, collected, and always 2 steps ahead. Now, let's move to principle number 9, where we uncover why the Stoics valued solitude and how embracing it can make you mentally sharper than everyone else. In today's world, silence is rare. People are constantly distracted by social media, endless conversations, and constant noise. They fear being alone with their own thoughts. But the Stoics saw solitude differently. They embraced time alone as a tool for deep thinking, reflection, and self-mastery. While most people escape into distractions, the Stoics used solitude to sharpen their minds and develop mental clarity beyond the average person. The Stoic philosopher Seneca had a simple but powerful truth. Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul. Most people seek validation, entertainment, or constant engagement. But the Stoic person understands that the greatest clarity comes from within. They don't fear being alone. They don't need constant stimulation. They use solitude to think, reflect, and grow. The result? A sharper mind, stronger self-awareness, and a sense of inner power. Bill Gates, the billionaire founder of Microsoft, has a practice called Think Week. Twice a year, he isolates himself in a cabin for a full week. No distractions, no meetings, no social media. He spends this time reading, reflecting, and thinking deeply about long-term strategies. This simple habit has helped him make some of the smartest business decisions in history. Now compare that to the average person who spends their free time scrolling endlessly through social media, distracting themselves with entertainment, never taking time for deep reflection. This is the difference between thinking reactively and thinking strategically. So how do you use solitude to sharpen your mind? Step 1. Schedule daily quiet time. Even 10 minutes of intentional solitude can transform your mental clarity. No phone, no distractions, just thinking or journaling. Step 2. Practice deep reflection. Ask yourself, what's the most important thing I should focus on? What mistakes am I repeating? What truly matters to me? Write your answers down. Step 3. Take a think day. Once a month, dedicate a full day to disconnecting from noise and reflecting on big picture goals. Go for a long walk. Read thought-provoking books. Analyze your progress and refine your direction. By doing this, you'll gain a level of clarity and intelligence that most people will never experience. For the next 7 days, practice intentional solitude. And spend at least 10 minutes a day alone with your thoughts. No distractions. 2. Write down one powerful insight you gained from your quiet time. Watch how this small habit sharpens your thinking. Because while most people are afraid of silence, you'll be using it as a superpower to outthink, outperform, and outsmart 99% of people. Now, let's bring it all together with a final reflection on the 9 Stoic principles and how they can transform your mindset forever. Over the past few minutes, we've explored 9 powerful Stoic principles, each designed to help you think smarter, react better, and outmaneuver 99% of people. Now let's take a moment to recap what we've learned. Master your emotions, because clear thinking starts with emotional control. Control what you can, ignore what you can't, to stop wasting energy on the uncontrollable. Train your mind like an athlete to build a sharp, unstoppable mindset. Turn obstacles into opportunities, to transform challenges into advantages. Master the power of silence to gain influence by talking less and observing more. Avoid useless arguments, to stay focused on growth instead of distractions. Detach from praise and criticism, to stop relying on external validation. Prepare for the worst, expect the best, to stay calm and strategic in any situation. Value solitude, to develop mental clarity and deep thinking. These aren't just ideas. They are the mental frameworks that have shaped the greatest minds in history. Now here's the key. Knowledge is useless without action. For the next 7 days, pick one Stoic principle and apply it daily. 1. Write it down every morning. 2. Live by it throughout the day. Reflect on it at night. How did it change your thinking? Because while most people will forget what they learned today, you'll be putting these principles into practice, gaining an unfair mental advantage over the world. If you found value in this, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and comment Stoic Mind below to let me know you're serious about leveling up. Keep practicing, keep thinking, and stay stoic.